What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video on this Monday afternoon. The New York Jets made it official. They are making the switch from Justin Fields to Tyrod Taylor, according to multiple reports. It comes after a tough performance from Justin Fields. He struggled in 4 of the last 5 games, and we discussed it after the game on Thursday. Aaron Glenn was strongly hinting at the idea of making a change on Friday and Saturday, and they end up doing just that. Fields passed for 116 yards against the New England Patriots, which was a pretty big improvement from where he was in the 3 of the previous 4 starts. Before that, he was at 60 yards or fewer. The Cincinnati game was his last really good performance, so he played well against Cincinnati, no denying that. But in 4 of the past 5 starts, he has passed for 116 yards or fewer. They have, the New York Jets, the least amount of passing yards in the NFL. They are dead last, 32nd in the league in passing yards. I get it. There's a run-first offense. Justin Fields is not a quarterback who's going to air it out and throw for 300 yards a game. That's not what anyone was asking him to do. Unfortunately, it just seemed like you had the Buffalo game was the first game where it started to turn and didn't play well. He played a little bit better against Miami. And then once you hit that Denver game, from Denver on, excluding Cincinnati, was pretty rough. It stinks. I feel for Justin Fields. Like, he unfortunately didn't play well enough. I think Justin Fields is a good kid, and by all accounts, and I think his teammates like him, and he's well respected in the NFL. I just don't think he gives you the best chance to evaluate the rest of the roster. And you look at someone like Tyrod Taylor, I get it. The last time we saw him against Carolina in the second half, he really struggled. 10 of 22, 45.5 completion percentage, 126 yards and 2 interceptions, excuse me. The 2 turnovers wasn't good. The completion percentage wasn't very good. That's about as bad as Tyrod Taylor's maybe ever looked that I've seen him. Against Tampa Bay, a little bit better. He ended up having the 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. There's a lot of garbage time production in that game as well, but I feel more comfortable with Tyrod running a more modern style offense, and one where we can evaluate the rest of this team and coaching staff than Justin Fields at this point, who, like, we saw success on the first drive of the game against New England. They ran 14 plays, 11 of them were rushing, 3 pass attempts, and 1 of the pass attempts was from Isaiah Williams. So they had Justin Fields throw the ball twice on the first 14-play drive of the game. My theory on this, I think Tyrod Taylor would have started the Cincinnati game if he was healthy. If you remember, Tyrod Taylor did not travel with the team to that Cincinnati game because he wasn't healthy. And that week was the first week we really got that back and forth with Aaron Glenn. I'm not telling you because of the competitive advantage. Well, with the information we now have and knew after the fact with the Tyrod Taylor not making the trip and not being healthy, it was pretty clear why he was doing it. Because if he said, Justin Fields, then everyone would know that Tyrod's hurt worse than what he is. And he couldn't say Tyrod Taylor, and certainly wasn't going to say Brady Cook either. And, the Jets are coming off a mini bye. They played on Thursday. They have an extra couple days of rest. This is probably the healthiest that Tyrod Taylor's been in some time. And I think this is a part of the reason why now is a good time to make that switch. And, make no mistake about it, Tyrod Taylor is not this team's long-term answer. I don't even really honestly expect him to start the full next 7 games. But I do think he does a better job operating in a more standard drop-back passing offense than Justin Fields does. And we need to see what Tanner Engstrand is as a first-year play caller. There's some positive signs, but let's see it more consistently. Can we evaluate John Mechie and A.D. Mitchell a little bit more now? How about Arian Smith, right? He has 3 catches in the last 7 games. Mason Taylor, can we get more of a read on what Mason Taylor is going to be at this level? And I just think Tyrod Taylor can do that better than what Justin Fields can at this point with where Justin Fields is. And, Justin probably needs to go to a situation where he's just a backup and for multiple years, right? Like we've seen guys have late career resurgences, and the Jets were trying to do that with bringing in Justin Fields. It just didn't work, and I don't necessarily blame them for trying to do that, but that's why you kept Tyrod Taylor around, a legitimate backup quarterback that you could turn to if things weren't working out. And with Tyrod Taylor's health concerns, like I said, Brady Cook's probably going to have to play at some point. There's 7 games left in the season. Is Tyrod getting all 7? I would lean towards probably not. If you had to guess right now, I'm going to say Tyrod probably starts another 4 games. Brady Cook maybe gets 3 starts. All this is subject to change, but that's kind of just my gut feeling as we go right now. But at least for this week against the Baltimore Ravens, it will be Tyrod Taylor starting. I don't really think the Jets have much of a chance to win this game, whether they were starting Justin Fields, Brady Cook, or Tyrod Taylor. But again, like I said, they are better positioned offensively with Tyrod Taylor right now, especially too, right? Like against the New England Patriots, when they got down big in that game, it was very, very hard for them to throw their way back into it. And I think, with how Baltimore is, if they jump out to, a 10-0 lead after the first quarter, Tyrod's going to be able to, you could have Tyrod throw the ball 35 times. I don't think you can have Justin Fields throw the ball 35 times. And, maybe at other points throughout the season, that was something that was on the table for Justin Fields. But just with where he's been at, I don't think you're doing the other 52 guys on the roster a legitimate service by continuing to toss him out there. We're brought to you by Sleeper. Try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app, pick more or less on your favorite players with more stats than any other daily fantasy app. You just got to choose 2 or more of your favorites from pregame or do it live during the game. You just pick more or less from their predicted stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code O'Leary, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. New offer, free $20, no deposit required promo. Terms and conditions apply. In some other Jets news, according to reports, the Jets are signing Khalen Saunders, a 29-year-old veteran defensive tackle. He was on the Super Bowl winning Chiefs in 2019 and 2022. He was a 3rd-round pick from Kansas City in 2019. He's bounced around a little bit. He was in New Orleans for a couple of years. Started the year in Jacksonville, really didn't play a whole lot at all. He appeared in just 2 games. But he's a big boy, 6 foot, 324 pounds, a beefier interior defensive lineman. His best year was in 2022 when he had 22 run stops, 18 pressures, and 3.5 sacks in a rotational role, right? Like he's probably someone you'd want as like your 4th interior defensive lineman, playing 35 to 40% of snaps. He might get more than that with the Jets, although I would say Briggs and Phillips are still ahead of him on the pecking order. So he might be 3rd on the team in snaps from the interior, which, like I said, might be a touch high for him, but with the lack of depth, I'm okay with giving it a go, right? You're just bringing in a veteran to fill in a role kind of over the last 7 games. As I mentioned, he only appeared in 2 games with the Jacksonville Jaguars this year, so I don't have crazy high expectations for him. This isn't someone who I think is like they're going to find their Quinnen Williams the replacement, nor do I think really Mozzie Smith is a replacement. I would say he's probably better than Mozzie Smith. Mozzie Smith, the bigger name, as he's a former 1st-round pick. But yeah, Jets, I had a body on the interior, not a crazy lot to report on him. It's not something that's going to really push the needle that much forward, but their defense isn't very good. Their defensive line depth, especially on the interior after trading Quinnen Williams, wasn't very good. So they bring in a stopgap. I'm okay with it. Let me know your thoughts. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.